So I was on the train earlier, and nearby, I heard this lady start saying how God never listened to me. He never listened to my prayer, this and this, and she just, upset. And it took everything in me to not snap my head and say, "Who is God to listen to you? Why do you think you can question God's opinion? Why do you think you can question God's judgment?" Because people often say things like, life is unfair. God isn't listening to me. God is so unfair. If God gave you what you deserve, a lot of us, actually, just about every last single person, if they got what they truly deserve, we would all be burning in a fiery pit. So be glad God doesn't give you what you deserve in that sense. And in the same way, we often question the judgment of God, as in to say, we know better than God. That's what pride is. And when looking at the Bible, even if you're not Christian or religious or any of that, even if you don't identify as anything, you can read it as a book on how to live your life because it goes over things like spirituality, self understanding, the importance of habits. It goes over a lot of things. But what I want to talk to you about today is that we need to stop questioning God. We need to stop questioning. Now, for those of you who don't know, my name is Lawrence. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. I specialize in helping teen young adults build self love, confidence, and a positive outlook on life. In addition to that, I'm an author, which you can find my books in the description. If you'd like to bring me on your podcast or in for speaking engagements at your school or youth organization, you can find my email address below, as well as one on one consultations. And there is an event I'm doing both in person and virtual on August the 2nd. You can get the information for that in the Eventbrite link below. So let's get into it. Stop questioning God. Something I find is that when people pray, they go to God and say, God, I want this. God, give me this. God, why won't you let me have this thing I want, this person I want, this money, this job, this car? Why won't you do what I want? God isn't here to listen to you. And that's not to say that God is going to be some tyrant. No. People get that part wrong too. God is not tyrannical. God knows better than you do. Throughout my life, there have been many things I've wanted. Many things. And it would be weeks, months, even years before I would get the thing I wanted. I'm putting in all the work. I'm sending the emails. I'm practicing. I'm studying. I'm doing everything I need to do. But why don't I have it? And only at the time when I finally got it did I realize, oh, if I got it back then, I wouldn't have been ready. A 5-year-old wants a car. They're like, I want a Lamborghini. God, I want a Lamborghini. Give me the Lamborghini. But when they turn 25, 18, however old they become when they can, drive, so in America, 16, when they turn 16, they can look back and go, yeah, of course God didn't give me a Lamborghini. I was 5. Even if I got the car and I had the money for it, I wouldn't have been able to drive it. I wouldn't have even been able to reach the pedals. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. And a lot of times, God will make us wait for things, not as a punishment, not that we aren't good enough, not that we don't have what it takes, but because He's developing us, He's preparing us. A 5-year-old should not be boxing a world champion. But if a 5-year-old starts training and they're practicing and they're doing the work, and then they turn 15 and they start practicing more and more and more, and then turn 25, now they should go box the world champion because they've been developed, they've been prepared. And God will, from your perspective, from the human perspective, it looks like God's holding me back. He's not letting me get the reward. God, why won't you let me have it? I'm doing everything. I'm working hard. I'm trying my best. But God's just like, not yet. And we'll question, God, why are you making me wait? Not yet. Because God has full right to say, because I said so. I literally know what you don't know. I literally can see the future. You aren't ready for it. It's not in my timing. We want it in our timing, but it got to be in God's timing. Because if you got it when you want it, if you got it in your timing, if you got everything when you wanted it, you're doomed. It's more often than not, you will be doomed because we want this quick hit. We want the fast way. We want the easy way. We want, let me just smoke this away. Let me inject this away. Let me drink this away. Let me slink this away. Let me bad habit this away. That ain't God's plan. That's not in God's timing. That's in the world's timing. And I don't want to get too deep on this, but if you just look around, if you live by what the world says, if you live based on the temptations of your eyes and the temptation of your flesh, you're going to go down some bad paths. Because, not to get graphic, but the STD rate out here is crazy. And don't get me wrong, I'm a man too. I look outside and I see people, they looking good. You know, it's summer, people walking around in skirts and whatnot. But you cannot allow what the eyes see to deceive the spirit. You cannot allow how somebody look, what kind of money they got, what you see visually to distract you from what you see spiritually. Because I don't care how good you look. I don't care how good this opportunity look. What's that spirit looking like? Yeah, you got $1 million, but did you rob a bank for it? Yeah, you looking good, but do you got chlamydia? These are important things to know. And yeah, I might. No, I'm putting that out there. I'm. People need to hear that. And when we're rushing and we're trying to take the quick and easy way, it takes us away from the bigger plan. It takes us away from the bigger vision that God has for us. Because you might want that apartment, right? You want that 1 bedroom. But God said, be patient. And you're like, but I want it now. I want it now. But God says, be patient. And you're like, okay, I'll listen. I know I want it, but I'm going to let God, it's going to be in God's will. God, let your will be done. And a couple years later, God put you in that penthouse. You was thinking 2 bedroom apartment. You were thinking 1 bedroom. You were thinking studio. God said, no, I want you in a penthouse. I want you in a mansion. God will take you bigger than you could have ever imagined if you put your faith in that. If you allow God's plan to play out and not be focused on your plan, not be focused on what you want, not be focused on, I want it now, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. God, why won't you give it to me? Who is God to answer to you? Respectfully, because sometimes even I can myself with this. I'm somebody who has quite an ego. Just for those of you who aren't familiar with this term, an ego is just your sense of self. So if you say, my name is Lawrence, I am smart, I'm handsome, I'm whatever, that's ego. That's just how you see yourself. And there's nothing wrong with ego. It is purely just how you see yourself. I see myself in a very big way. I'm like, I'm smart, I'm talented, I'm dedicated, I'm this, I'm that, I'm ooh, ooh, ooh. But when God step up, I'm like, hey, I'm not talking crazy to you. Nope. Nope. All respect. I respect you, you respect me. And in that same way, in Ezekiel 2, chapter 2, it says, and the Spirit entered into me, and he spake. So, spake is just a spake, is just an old way of people saying spoke. It's like a past tense of spoke. Unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. So God did not say to be lowly and just quiver. No, he said, I will speak unto you and put you onto your feet. Come to me with respect. Come to me with confidence and knowing that I am here to support. Now, I don't want this video to be too long because I have like so many different ideas going on in my head. But the gist of this is plain and simple. I know you want it now. I know you want a solution right here, right now. But God's plan is much better than your plan. God's timing is much better than your timing, and God's way is much better than your way. Let me flip through to another section right here. Yeah, I'm trying to find the page. But yeah. Behold, I have made thy faces strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. So that's referring to a much different thing. But it's referring to the fact that God will make you strong in the face of your enemies. God will make you strong even in the face of those who you may be worried about, even in the face of that job loss, even in the face of that breakup, even in the face of your issues. God will make you strong. But you got to have faith, you got to believe. And I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm just saying, hey, here's my belief. It's my page. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And with that said, I hope that you have gotten value from this. Hope you've enjoyed this content. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And again, if you like to support, you can purchase my books, one-on-one consultations, podcast hosts, and speaking engagements. My email address is in the description. And for my upcoming event, both virtual and in person, the Eventbrite link below. Or if you just plainly like to give me money, if you just like to give me some money, out the kindness of your heart as a donation, my Cash App is below. Have a wonderful and blessed day.